And welcome everybody to Pontiac Power Hour episode 42. We have a lot of people already in the chat, but for those that don't know, I am Buff from Buff's Garage, and next to me I have
Ray from Punisher Lamont's Garage.
And I know you guys saw the thumbnail in the post, and yes, we are considering at this point taking a little bit of a break. And before you guys blow us up with any negativity, I first want to thank you guys all for 42 awesome episodes. You guys show up every single week. You've been great to us. You come in, you bring your friends, you share it out, you interact with our guests, and of course you play the trivia. And we couldn't have done this without you guys. So before it blows up, I just wanted to put that out there. You guys are awesome, and we want to just thank all of you.
Yeah, I mean, Buff's been busy. He's been out slaying deer with all his cars. So,
I thought it was deer season. Apparently, it's not.
Well, I mean, no, it's a little warm for that. And with your cars is not the way to do it, buddy.
Well, you know, that's the whole thing. Is like I strayed from the Pontiac model, and Brian Bantana has been a hit on YouTube, so I can't fault him. He was just growing along, and another stray just worked her way right in there. It was a female, of course, it had to be. And she found her way right into the front of the van. And I did, try to just edge him over a little bit in hopes that we would just skirt the deer. But no, she put her big old butt right through the condenser and the radiator and into the engine.
And you just
so it doesn't look so bad. Yeah, the AC works great. Well, did. And I was enjoying, the windows powering up and down and the AC. And we were getting ready to fix the body, the paint, throw a turbo on it. Like I've gathered the parts. We were ready.
Yep.
We just had to all show up at the same place at the same time. So anyway, let me hit the chat real quick before we get too far, because I know you guys are just blowing it up already. And as always, I believe it's our number one fan, Hunter from Sand Mountain Ballistics. We have Tim Windsor in the house. Thank you, Tim, for everything you've done for us. Scrolling down, I'm pretty sure I saw... Yep, Mongrels is here. Wolfpack Garage Vlog. All right. Well, Wolfpack, here's the thing. So Wolfpack says I can only take time off if I'm out looking for Fieros and Aztecs. Here's the thing. If I get the place that I want to get, with the space that I want to get, for the price I want to pay, I'm going to fill it with Pontiacs. I don't care what kind they are. If it's got a Pontiac logo, I'm just going to leave the gate open and they can just wander in. But everything we've talked about over the last year, whether it be the Pro Street Aztec or, all-wheel drive Trans Am or freaking lifted Fiero, whatever it is, I can build it once I get this taken care of. So that's the plan. Scrolling down, I saw Rods and Streetcars. 6% recycle. Colleen Tebow, I think she's out on the road right now. Jeremiah, welcome. Still scrolling. Jeff Rose here. Thanks, Jeff, for showing up. I appreciate you, buddy. Dakota's timeout. And, I saw Jason's garage. Where did he go? There he is. The chat's scrolling, so thanks, guys. It's keeping me moving.
Pure Pontiac Garage.
Oh, yeah. He was looking for a name. No, that was Arrowhead Garage was looking for a name for his car. Pure Pontiac Garage has the other cool Pontiacs. Cousin Mike is here. Ed from Ed's Machine. We got Russell from Outfits here.
I was just talking about him.
Yes, you were. Pure Pontiac Garage, Don One-Eyed Cat. Blaker is here. Yep, I mean, I guess the van was hungry and felt the urge. Like, seriously, I thought I was going to miss this deer. And she just clipped the side, and it's disappointing.
I think if you would have hit it dead on, it probably wouldn't have done as much damage, actually.
I really think had I been about 6 inches over, it would have just got the fender and that was it. But instead, she put her big old butt right through the center there. And you don't see it as well on the video or the pictures, but it's caved in pretty good. Nathan's Mopar, welcome, sir. Oh, that's my boss. That's my boss. Oh. And you guys are all my bosses as well, trying to, support me on YouTube, but he's the one that actually pays me money to show up to work, which I didn't do the other day. But that wasn't my fault. That was the deer's fault. Ugly Truck Experience, welcome. All right, I think we're caught up.
I believe so, man.
Cool. All right, so guys, what I wanted to kind of explain to everybody is we're not going away. I'm in this YouTube thing. Ray and I have both grown dramatically in the last year on our subs, on everything that goes with it. I know you're closer to getting monetized.
Yeah, getting closer. I broke 1,500 finally.
Okay, so he's still working on his watch hours. So if you guys haven't watched Ray's channel, get over. Heck, just put him on loop on your TV and just let it roll and give him some watch hours if you want. But he's got to get that 4,000 watch hours before he can start making some money. And I'm making some money. I'm not unhappy with it, but it could be more. Like if I want a whole field of dreams full of Pontiacs, the only way to do that is we're going to have to, make a little bit more money. And to do that, I need more subscribers.
And you
guys have done your part. Like they've done their part. Because I've got my goal this year for 2023 for YouTube was to hit 5,000 subs. And I just hit 5,588. So not unhappy at all.
I just hit 2,283, which is crazy, man, because this time last year I was struggling at 500. So
right.
I mean, it happens.
And so to all the no-name guys out there that are still working towards your 500, it's just about getting yourself out there, networking with people. I know it was hard for me to hit 500 and then, of course, to hit the 1,000 and then to get the watch hours. And it was a struggle. But my last video, I had 500 new subs in one video in 3 days. So anything's possible once you get yourself out there. Did I miss somebody? I did. Does Nothing Special popped in. I saw Two Babe Jenkins pop in. Danny Boyd. They're just rolling in. Awesome. And like you were struggling to hit the 500. You not nailed that. Then you hit your 1,000. And now you're well past 2,000. You just keep climbing. And you got the perfect car. You got new cars waiting in the wings. There's no doubt you're going to get, just keep growing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I'm getting ready to start doing some autocross racing with the Le Mans. I don't know if that's real popular or not actually, but maybe I should.
Freiberger posted a video. I think it was on his Instagram or YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook, one of the two. Freiberger posted video of his new car that we haven't seen yet because it's not out on Motor Trend. But this thing was, touching door handles when it went around the autocross. So he's at least trying the autocross in his. I'm sure the Punisher car would do much better than him.
Oh yeah, wait till everybody sees the video I'm editing. So I have the adjustable QA1 shocks on all four corners now, and I got them set on like 13, which is for aggressive driving, which I drive aggressively. So, man, we took it out today, and that thing just rails curves. It's amazing.
And that's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to ride in it after riding in it before. And have you been to any new shows lately?
No. Awesome, man.
Thanks to Babe Jenkins. Yeah, and that's all to help get those watch hours. I know it's not the normal way or the right way to do it, but a lot of people just play it on in the background and just let it roll. And watch hours. It really comes down to, you want to see more Ray, and if you do, got to get out there and support him so he can eventually afford to do all this without just pulling out of his own pocket.
Yeah, so I got some cool stuff coming up. We got a Triumph Spitfire it's going to have a supercharged V6 in it. I have a S10 that my buddy Jeremiah, he's in the chat actually. I'm getting it from him. It's actually taking up space in his garage. So, and we're building him a pretty nice little square body S10 too. So I'll have video of that also. I have a 72 C10 I'm building for my dad, and then Russell from Outfits. I'm trying to figure out a way to go get it, but he's got a 62 Chevy short bed, which was actually my very first vehicle, was a 62 Chevy short bed pickups, and I've been looking for one everywhere. So, man, I'm pretty stoked about that too.
Absolutely.
I may be dead or divorced soon. I don't know which will come first.
No. Neither. I've been dealing with too much of both lately. So let's just do neither and just keep grinding away. That's the thing. You got to have the balance, right? You got to balance it out.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. More people in the chat. Justin Hill is here. JB. Hi, JB.
Hello, JB.
Swaps and stuff I saw come in. Danny Boyd is right. Death is cheaper. But yeah, let's just not worry about that. I've done enough of that lately. We don't need more of that right now.
Thank you too, babe. I appreciate that. I do what I can.
Oh, and I want to make this point. Just because we're taking a pause doesn't mean we're done. And secondly,
oh no,
it doesn't mean we're not going to pop into lives, because as 6% recycled knows, you put the link up, guys. You got to expect that I'm going to pop in sometimes. I know that you do as well, Ray.
Yeah.
So you're not getting away from us. If you want to get away from us, just hit unsubscribe, block us. We could do a whole unsubscribe campaign and watch ourselves grow dramatically. But tell the internet to unsubscribe, and everybody goes and subscribes.
We'll be back. We got a lot going on, and once we get in, I mean, who knows what we're going to come back with? I mean,
well, and that brings me to I got a few slides put together. Is this the end? It's not the end. It's really not. Yeah, bold move, Cotton. Yep. Because he doesn't show up for the game. Let's see if it works out for him.
I like taking chances.
Yes. And so that's a lot of what I've been doing. And if you followed Square Body stuff when I went on the trip with him, and of course, when I went on the trip with Ray, we did the Hot Rod 100. And of course, I hang out occasionally, not lately, but occasionally with Dalton from Pole Barn Garage. I want to be able to be mobile. And it's not that Pontiac Power Hour isn't in my heart. It absolutely is. But it takes some time because we got to generate topics. We got to be calling people, emails, networking constantly so that we either have a show built or we have a guest. And here lately, between work and packing and trying to find a new home, I have been slacking on my end. And Ray's tried to pick up the slack. And obviously, for the first time ever, I had to miss one last week. And that's nobody's fault. I was at work, and it just so happened that we had people that needed me more than you guys. And that's what my job is. So I went and did that and missed the show. And I was so sad that I missed it. And I don't want to have to do that again. So it's
I'm not
easier
gonna
for
lie,
us.
I was lost. I was lost without you, buddy.
It's easier to take a little break. You got your to-do list to do. I've got mine to do. We're going to bust through those. It wasn't your fault, Troy. It's just what happens. I could sit and do nothing all day, which I didn't that day, but I could sit and do nothing all day, and next thing you know, we're up all night. So it is just what it is. JB says, you want to guess? Let's go. Give me a minute, JB. Give me a minute. All right. So the big thing I want to focus on is the guests. So, yes, we talked about a lot of Pontiac history, and I loved every bit of it. We started at the beginning with the Oakland, and we worked our way all the way through to the last Pontiacs made. We've not covered everything there is to cover, but we covered a huge swath of Pontiac history, some obscure stuff, and even Hunter's favorite, the concepts. So I feel like we did the show justice by either having a really good historical show to talk about or guests. And do you guys remember the guests? I mean, Ray, who was your favorite guest that we had?
Mine personally was Richard Holtner.
Who would have thought we'd be talking to Richard Holtner, the master guru of engines and dynos and everything that goes on with turbos and cams? And the man's amazing. And here he was on our show. Like, it was crazy. And I loved it. He was a great guest. Very knowledgeable. Hold on, I gotta acknowledge Lars. Lars is here. Thank you, Lars, for showing up. We love you. My Canadian brother Shopcat is here. Yeah, all right. You guys don't always see what happens in the background. We both have full-time jobs that kind of demand our attention even when we're not at work. It is what it is. And then we're trying to play YouTubers, and then we're trying to have families. And oh yeah, then we got other stuff. I mean, it's just there's a lot to juggle. And we're not forgetting you guys. We're just going to take a little bit of a break and see how that works out.
And you never know. Me and Buff may have a just a live on a Thursday night at 8.
It may happen.
You just never know.
So the big thing is, I know I have some big things coming up to where I'm going to be out of pocket for a bit. Like we're talking a week or so at a time. And when that happens, I can't prep a show, have a show ready, or even be available at the showtime. It's not anybody's fault. This is part of a growing YouTube channel. I've been invited to join along with some other folks that are maybe up in this stratosphere, way up here. And I don't want to drop that to be 100% with the show. And the other issue is if I'm not 100% with the show, am I really giving you guys the best entertainment? I mean, that's the thing is Ray's got a busy life. I got a busy life. We don't want to, give you a half-baked thing every Thursday. So I know I've got something coming up that's going to take me away, but it's going to be good for everybody. I promise. I want to hit the chat real quick. I saw, of course, no concepts. Yeah, I get it. But your favorite guests. I saw Steve Maggs. Yeah, Steve Maggs was amazing. The man not only committed right away, he also said, "What are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And I couldn't believe it. I texted Ray right away and I said, "Do you want Steve Maggs for Thanksgiving Day? Like, are we going to do this?" He wants to be on Thanksgiving Day. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that guy, and we got to talk to him off after the show too, and before the show. And that's what's cool about the guests is
I
me
have
and
his
Buff.
phone number. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me and Buff get to spend like Finnegan just talking to him is he's the most down to earth guy. What you see on TV, that's Finnegan. I mean,
Finnegan's a real dude, and so is Steve Maggs. So is Richard. That's the thing is I don't believe we had anybody as a guest who wasn't legit. Like nobody was putting on Kevin from Junkyard Digs. Like he's almost at 1 million subs right now. He was hovering just under 1 million subs. And he was just hanging out with, Demolition Matt, who if I understand correctly.
yeah,
You kind of know him, right?
Me and Matt have done some stuff together on my business side.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
And that's just it. You're networking, right? And eventually that all pays off. If you already know the people and you're already talking to them, and then you say, "Hey, you got this new demolition resort. We want to go stay in your YouTuber house." He built a YouTuber house. Now, Danny Boyd, that one didn't happen. It was out there and it didn't happen. And there's a few reasons why that we're not going to talk about tonight.
No, I honestly, I might offend some people, but I really don't know that I want that. But.
All right, let's see. All right, Maggs. Everybody loves Steve Maggs. Finnegan. It was a great Thanksgiving. Like you all had your turkey and people had their football and all that was going on. And we had Steve Maggs. Like if JB does a live, it's got to be the comedy hour because don't get too serious. We want to laugh because JB is amazing. Him and Lars together are just one of my favorite duos.
Although sometimes I can't understand what they're saying. I almost need like an interpreter.
You don't talk the Southern talk?
Sometimes I guess not.
Danny Boyd, that's right. Kevin from Junkyard Digs. He was a great guest. Awesome channel. I'm glad to see he is reaching that point. I mean, hands down, one of my favorites is Dalton, Pole Barn Garage. Dalton was amazing to us, both of us. And anytime I ever needed something, whether it's car related, YouTube related, or even a guest on the show, Dalton was the first one to go, "I'm there. I'm going to make fun of your LS swaps, but I'm there." He has been huge to be there for us.
I wouldn't be here at all if Dalton pretty much talked so much crap that I created a YouTube channel. So.
All right, we're losing JB. Bye, JB. All right, Dalton is awesome. Dalton is real close to 100,000 subs. So if you don't currently subscribe to Pole Barn Garage, look over on the far end over there. You got Kevin from Junkyard Digs with the gray shirt and the skull, and you got PBG wearing the PBG hat. Go check him out. Give him a sub. We got to get him to 100,000. He wants to get his beautiful little play button, but I don't think he's going to mount it on the wall. So something good will happen, and it will probably involve firearms or explosives.
I was going to say, we've had some discussions.
It's going to be beautiful. Yep, Gran Torino, he just did some upgrades on that thing. He got a new video out today. Go check that out. Of course, he's got a Grand Prix. He's got the Holy Goat. He's got the Le Mans. He's got the Silver Dollar Chevy. we're about to go. I think I'm still invited, unless Kevin jumps in there. I think I'm still invited to help with the 454 swap on his van. And I was going to take my shorty van, Brian Vantana, to go do that. I don't know if I'm going to get it back.
And we had,
all right.
You don't have him up there, but we also had Chris from 3235.
That's right. I actually went to his page and saw the photo, but ended up reading his Facebook story instead of actually clipping the photo and putting it in here. So yeah, we had Hunter from Sand Mountain Ballistics. We had your boys on here. We had all kinds of people.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some cool stuff. And
do you guys recognize everybody here? Because like right here, that's Austin from Lucor. Of course, Steve Maggs next to him, Finnegan. We got Terry, Coverman 66, way over there in front of the Camaro. If you keep going clockwise, there's Kevin and Dalton. We got Copperhead Customs out of Australia, right? We got Fast Monty with that beautiful GTO. And Straight Six Fan is kind of right in the middle. And then below that, Dudes with Wrenches. And then, of course, Richard Holdner right next to him with the cam. I will say this about Dudes with Wrenches. Amazing man. 100,000 plus subs, but he's always there to talk. If you want to talk about YouTube, you want to talk about cars, you just want to BS about life, that man is there for you. And the minute he found out that Brian Vantana took a hit, he was one of the first ones to contact me and say, I've got a 76 van. I got to pull the engine out anyway. So if you need the front end off of it, come up here. And so I might be taking, if the insurance lets me keep the van, I might be taking a trip up to Iowa to go get that. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, there he is. 38 POS Racing showed up. He is on that WTF channel every week. Dudes with Wrenches is what Brent's talking about.
Whatever happened to the what was his channel? He was always building the crazy cars. He had that. I can't remember the name of his channel. He was in here every week, and then I haven't seen him in a while. He was building. He had the lifted. Was it a Grand Prix or Chucky's Garage?
Oh, Chucky. He's still out there, but I think what's happened to Chucky is the same thing happening to us. It's summertime. His kids are in sports. They're at home now. He's still working, but when he's not at work, he's being a dad full time, right? Because that's what we do. And I just don't think he's getting as much time devoted as he was maybe in the winter months.
Yeah. I just hadn't seen him in here in a while. Because believe it or not, I do remember all of our regulars every week.
Absolutely. I love everybody in the chat. And we've got people that aren't even in the chat, but we know they've been back time and time again, like Chucky's and so many others. So we appreciate all of them. Yes, Colleen, here's the thing. I got that van for a really great deal. But if the buyback's more than what I paid for it originally, I'm going to have a real hard time spending more for a wrecked van than what I paid for to begin with. I'm not saying it won't happen. You guys go watch my videos and raise enough money, I can make it happen. But the way the insurance does it is they go, oh, we think it's worth this much. Hopefully, it's at least as much as I have in it. And it probably will be. But then they go, but if you want to keep it, we're going to keep this much back. And then I'm standing there with like $20 in my hand going, I don't know that was worth that. Because I've got more than $20 damage in this van. Like if I could have kept driving it, if I had not hit the radiator and condenser and it was just a fender, I would have made sure everything was safe and I would have commuted on. But that's not what happened. Oh my goodness, look at this. Breezy's Bike Shop. welcome. Thanks for joining us on the beginning of our summer vacation. But we appreciate you jumping in.
For everybody new in the chat, Buff and I have decided to take a break. We're going on a break.
Not from each other. Not from each other.
No, we're not breaking up. Buff will always be my boy. But we just got so much going on. Summertime's here, kids. Buff's trying to move, trying to relocate, and we just think it'd be a good idea to maybe take a couple months off, see if we can regroup and.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Irish Outlaw Garage and his Pontiac ambulance. He was a guest on the show, which I don't know if Jay's going to even be doing a show because he's on Hot Rod Power Tour right now.
Yeah,
but
everybody yes, I know is on Hot Rod Power Tour right now.
Yeah, trust me. We are the two guys right now that are watching all of our friends posting all about Power Tour, and we're just sitting here like, Yep, that looks like fun.
Yeah, so
you kind of want to not look at it because it would be such a blast if we were there.
Well, Chris cruising around in his Chevy too. If you guys haven't subscribed to 323, go check out his channel. He's got the Barn Find GTO and stuff, but he's also got a wicked cool gasser Nova, and he's got the thing on Power Tour, and he's just having a blast with it. And I was actually gonna go. I was trying to get my car together, and unfortunately, I didn't even get all my parts until Monday. So there was, and then there's the fact that it's like 2,500 miles to do it, and I was like, it's just not going to happen this year. But next year, it's happening.
And it's kind of a $1 per mile thing. If it's 2,500 miles, I know it's several $1,000s to go by the time it's
also getting like $700 just in fuel.
That's what I'm saying. When you look at all the costs for the event and the hotels and the fuel and stuff's going to break, and then you got to fix that. Because I know Jay took the Javi, and he's got a whole trunk full of tools and parts.
Hey, man, wow. That's one of our favorite cars, brother. We love the Fiero.
Yep, we do love the Fiero. I saw Big Block 402 show up. He's the man that got me the Pontiac 400 that's eventually going to go in the 63 or whatever.
I sent Big Block 402 a link to a truck for sale that could have been his truck's brother.
Well, I mean, they've also been sending me Brian Van Tana, lookalikes too. So I appreciate all of those messages and everything. Hammer wrench, my favorite type of hammer wrench.
That's like the coolest name. I'm just saying.
It really is. Oh, man, we got the doctor is in the house.
Dr. Art.
And he took a little hiatus on his too a while back. So it's just one of those where if you're trying to put together a show, it does take a lot more effort than just showing up and clicking live. I mean, we put some effort into it.
In case anybody that's in the No Name doesn't know, there's like 98 days until the No Name Nationals.
Shh. That's the week before I have another event scheduled. So I'm still looking to try to do both. So again, go watch my videos. Make sure you watch the ads because that's how I get paid.
If you
got a few extra bucks, send them through Super Chat, Super Thanks, PayPal. I'm not asking, begging for your money, but I'd like to do both events, and it's going to be really hard to tell anybody that I can't make an event.
Simply because I'm getting paid on Facebook, but I can't manage to get paid on YouTube yet.
I can't get paid on Facebook, but I don't also put out as cool a stuff as you do. Facebook
So,
just kind of gets the glossy treatment and we move on. But speaking
So-
of gloss, Poppy's Patina, people.
so if anybody's going, I'll be here at Holly LS Fest in Bowling Green, Kentucky, September 8th. My car will be featured in the QA1 tent.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Look at us. Look where we were last year. And look at us now. You got a QA1 sponsorship. I got a Poppy's sponsorship. Wait, there it is. Yeah. Look at us go.
It's just cool. I mean, yeah, and people's like, oh, it must be nice to have a sponsor. Look, I still have to buy the parts.
Right.
It's just like, and Jeff from Two Hacks knows, you know, he gets a discount on parts through Holly, but you're still paying. When you're ordering a crap ton of parts, it's still a lot of money.
And let me just point out, respect gets respect. So the fact that he went and got some parts from QA1 and they gave him a little discount, that's not why he's in the booth. Ray built a badass car. And if you haven't seen it, get your butt out there to one of these events, LS Fest, No Name Nationals, the Hot Rod 100 like we did, whatever it is, and go see the car for yourself. He did a meticulous job of building this car. It's beautiful. And like you said, you threw it together with certain parts, right? But now as you're going, you're refining it and making it better and better and better. It's an amazing car. And QA1's going, yeah, that's legit. We want that in our booth. That's how you get there.
It's super cool. And I reached out to them. They didn't reach out to me. I you know, when you're starting to do this and trying to get, you know, bigger, you email people. You're like, hey, look, I got this channel. This is my I have a bigger TikTok following than I do YouTube. So, you know, between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I have a fairly good sized following. So they're like, yeah, we can do that. So, you know, and I'm waiting to hear back from others. I got possibly Holly in the works, but we'll see how that works out.
I think Poppy's is, I don't know. We're going to do the experiment, and I got a matte finish and I got a gloss finish, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to do, or maybe I'll do like mix them together and get like a satin finish. I don't know.
I would do that matte on the 63. That would look legit.
Yeah, I don't want it all shiny. That's the one thing I don't really want to do. And yeah, Shopcat got LED headlights. That's the thing. As you grow your channel, guys, you get over 500 subs, especially hitting that 1,000 mark. You're going to start getting these emails for stuff. Don't buy anything. Give them your address, like if you have a P.O. box, even better. But give them an address that you're not afraid to get junk mail at, and say, if you want to send me something, send me something. Some of them say, oh, you got to buy it through another place or whatever. Don't do that. Let them just send you free stuff. I ended up getting headlamps. I got LED lights. Stickers, T-shirts, hats. Super clean. You reach out to those guys or they reach out to you, you're going to get some super clean. It's going to happen.
And it's really cool. And it's just putting in the work. If you don't put in the work, then you're not going to do it. If you just think you're going to make a YouTube channel, throw some shorts up, and, you know, yeah, you might do well. You might get a lot of subscribers, but until you like really put in the work and, you know, spend the time emailing people, talking to people, like you said earlier, you know, just networking, like the Poppy's Patina thing. You was down in, was it that with,
I was at Norman, Oklahoma. Yep. I was hanging with Square Body Chad, not even with my car. And the folks from Poppy's Patina show up to visit with me. They were not a sponsor of the event. Their rival company, the other patina company, was there hosting the event and sponsoring the event. But these guys showed up, put a truck in the event. So you got the one vendor over here with their name and their whole setup, and then you got the one truck over here just looking gorgeous with its patina paint. And he shows up and he's like, I came here to put my truck in, but to also see you. And I'm like, this isn't even my truck. And he goes, I know your car, Pontiac. And next thing I know, so that's awesome. I mean, it just doesn't happen overnight. You, like you said, you got to network, put yourself out there. I mean, I'm telling you right now, when it happens, I'm going to be so excited, especially if I get the place where I'm looking right now along Route 66. This guy right here, when he gets his butt over on this side of the pond, we're hanging out and we're going to talk kangaroos. I'm telling you, because he messaged me about, me hitting a deer, and he goes, it's the same over here. It's just kangaroos. I'm like, I love this man. He's awesome. I can't wait till he comes over. Because he's got a bed at my house. When I get it all set up, he will have a bed at my house.
I really want a pet Roo. I'm not gonna lie.
You say that, but the first time it kicks you right in the jaw, you might like, maybe not now.
Yeah.
And then what do? You just let it loose?
I put it on a leash, man. I'm walking that thing, or it's walking me.
Exactly. You can't flush a Roo like you used to do the baby alligators.
It's like an oversized rabbit.
All right, what is this? Shopcat still talking about. Yeah. I cannot emphasize enough the need for a camera person. You can do it all your own, but man, it steps it up just a little bit to have a camera person. Just if you're doing a stationary scene, but the camera person's moving just a little bit, it adds that little bit of motion to your video, and it really locks in the audience. Movement is the key to keep them in. Like, if they've got time to pull their phone out and start scrolling, you've lost them. They may still listen to it, but you've lost them on your video. So, Hammer Wrench, if you hadn't heard, I don't know if I got Vantana coming back. I got to see what insurance says. So,
if you do, I'm thinking zombie apocalypse plow on the front of that thing.
Well, if you saw my Instagram, I think I put it on YouTube also. I mean, I've got ideas. He said, Colleen says, get a wallaby.
I don't even know what a wallaby is.
Teenagers are useful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my daughter actually did all my filming today, and she thinks that she's going to get to Le Mans one day. It's probably not going to happen.
That car is going to end up in a museum someday. That's what's going to happen.
I'm getting buried in it.
Go to the Bowling Green, Kentucky plant where the Corvettes are. Just lower yourself in.
Yeah, Copperhead. I watch a lot of videos on TikTok or Roo. I've seen them like just turn around and like stare at people, and they're like, "Okay, no big deal." Like big jacked Roo look like somebody spends all their time in the gym.
All right. Well, before we get too far along, I did talk to Jay, Irish Outlaw Garage. He is living it up right now on Power Tour. He's hanging out. He is not setting up for a live of his own. But if somebody wants to go live after us, just hit live and go live. And Jay said he would jump on. I'm sure you and I will probably pop in and say hello. There's all kinds of people that'll jump on. I'm sure our Canadian friend Mongrel's Garage would jump in there. But Jay said he would jump in, but he's not going to host one tonight. So
I
just know.
I want to thank Mongrel's Hunter for last week jumping in and helping me on the show. I was struggling. I really was. It's like I thought I was just going to have it. I had it all in my head what I was going to do, and then I just blanked out when it came showtime. So they saved me. I appreciate it.
We have the best audience ever. Like, we really do. These guys aren't subscribers, are not fans. They're our friends, and we appreciate them every single week. And Tony, you heard correctly. I actually got the text just after his live which I missed. I popped in to say, hey, I'm here, but I was in the middle of dinner and I didn't really want to like play it live in the restaurant. But anyway, yes, Dalton has some parts available. I know Ray knows where there's a place to get parts, and Dudes with Wrenches has got parts. And between the three of them, if insurance lets me have the van back, I know there's a buyback, but we kind of already discussed it. Then we'll talk about throwing parts on it. Because I'm thinking if we've already got core support and everything else out, why are we not building the turbo and all that? Like that's just where we're at.
That is a very good question, man.
Because I would really like to have it for the event after No Name. There's our buddy Tony doing a delete on the Cummins. Wow. Just don't delete the Cummins. That's the best part of the Cummins. We'll be back too, babe. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like, but the history was my favorite part. My kids love history. I mean, who doesn't really love history? There's people that just want to scroll TikTok all day. That's fine. The rest of us actually want to learn something. And that's why Dudes with Wrenches does so well. Because in 60 seconds, he'll teach you a little nugget that you could take with you.
And who's to say that we'll come back with just a Pontiac only show? I mean,
we love the Pontiac, but we could have had so many more guests that were willing to come on. And it's not that we told them no, it's that how do we associate that with Pontiac? And basically, if they had ever even owned a Pontiac in their life, they were on the show. But there were some that it was kind of like, and there were guys that we had lined up that were huge names, but because of scheduling conflicts, they never did work out. Because I had some that you guys were going to love, and we still may get them, but we got to get a little closer to SEMA, and I think they're going to start drumming that up again. Did I see Halfwits? Oh, Halfwits is here. How's the journey? I believe he's out on the road as well. Yeah, so Mongrels, it's not that I don't want to do the V8. I just want to blow up the V6 first. Let's be clear. I've got a V6 700R4. That 700R4 is probably ready to go now. So maybe? Did I lose Ray? I lost Ray. We're on our own, people. He just said, I'm out. He's done. Nathan, you're not wrong, but somebody already has that name. So I didn't want to confuse it up. And at the time, that was our love. And Mongrels, you're right, because I'm pretty sure after the burnout, I upset it quite a bit. Let's be clear. Pontiac has the torque. She's got the torque. All right. Before we let out completely and hopefully Ray comes back, let me just go ahead and hit this little button and bam. I would be remiss if I didn't end our Pontiac Power Hour with trivia because I know you guys love it. We try to do it every time. And while we're doing that, I'm going to do this. That's right. I just posted the link. So if you guys want to jump in and have something to say, maybe follow along on the trivia in the house versus in the chat, then there's the link. Jump in. That doesn't replace Ray. Ray's got, the admin right. So he'll just pop right in whenever he's back. Hammer, wrench. You don't even know what you don't even know. You don't even know. Nathan's Pontiac garage. Oh, that's not happening. All right. First question, guys. This one's for Hunter. While not directly a Pontiac, GM decided to toy with a gas turbine engine for what initial concept car? You're back.
Yeah, I am back. My internet crashed.
I was afraid it was mine, but it was yours. All right. So the answer is either A, Turbinetta, B, the XP21, C, the Wildfire, or D, the GM56. We have already got 38 POS with an XP21. And we got Cousin Mike with an XP21. Danny Boyd says the Wildfire. Nathan, as usual, with the E. None of the above. Hammerwrench says the GM56. Colleen's going B. Hunter's going with the GM56. Ugly Truck's calling it Wildfire. Mongrels out of Canada with the XP21. Well, let's see what the answer is. The first gas turbine engine for GM's concept car was the XP21, later known as Firebird 1. Now, not to be confused with the Pontiac Firebird, but that is where Pontiac later yanked the name from. It wasn't just the Firebird 1, there was a 2 and a 3 as well.
They did some crazy stuff in the 60s, man, 50s and 60s.
That's basically a jet with wheels and little baby wings. They initially said that the car would do 200, but I don't believe they actually ever got it to 200. Because you would die. It doesn't have an ejecto seat.
I don't see any downforce. That's the problem with it.
Street legal. I mean, what does it need to be street legal?
Hell, in Missouri, if you just throw some turn signals on it and a horn and stuff.
Do you really? You need a horn, but do you need turn signals? Because that's what this
Yeah,
is
you
for.
do. You have to have all the lights in Missouri, but
bam! Look who's in the chat. We got Brent from Mongrel's Garage.
I'll take you up on your offer, Buff.
Absolutely. Welcome.
How's it going?
Danny Boyd, basically it was an airplane just with, road tires. Yeah, XR71. Yeah, that was also a plane.
Blackbird.
I mean, it was fast.
SR-71.
Was it? Or was
SR-71 Blackbird.
But was it XR first or XR late?
Well, the interesting about that aircraft is that on the ground, everything had big gaps in it.
That's right, and it would leak.
It would.
It didn't even have a fuel bladder.
It would leak everything, and when it got up to speed, everything would close up and it would seal.
Yep.
Welcome,
everybody. Mr. 6%.
Yeah, I figured I'd return the favor since you've been on a couple of my streams. Thank you very much.
And the more you have, the more I'll be in.
Every Wednesday.
All right. Next question, folks. What division of General Motors made the XP21, later called Firebird 1? Was it their Skunk Works? Was it Chevrolet's division? Was it Pontiac's division? Or was it the GMAT's division?
I'm just going to say that anybody who knows anything about what we was just talking about before would know what the Skunk Works program is.
I may or may not have borrowed that particular name for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Boyd, BC? I mean,
I'm going to go with E like I always do. So,
okay, that works. We got 38 POS says D. Danny Boyd says C. Colleen says A. Hammerwrench says D. We got them a little bit everywhere. I know you know the answer, Mongrels.
You think I do?
I'm pretty sure you know the answer.
No, I don't. I'm going to say C.
Whoa. Okay. Nathan says C. Hunter says C.
It wasn't C.
It's the Pontiac, the wide track. I mean, I don't know. It takes off, I guess. The actual answer is D. It was called General Motors Air Transport Section. It was actually a corporate air service operated by General Motors. So they acquired these gas turbine engines as part of their air service, and they shoved them into cars because General Motors.
Yeah.
See, I did not actually know that. I
Yeah.
learned something.
And that's actually their GMAT's logo on the tail of that car. The tail, right? Not the trunk. It's got a wing.
I almost thought GMATS was General Motors armored tank division or something like that.
I mean, it was during wartime when they came up with this. So
That's what I figured.
mean, yeah.
That's very possible. They did put turbine engines into the tanks as well.
Cool.
At least in prototype. I know some of the later stuff has been kind of crazy.
All right. So besides the tanks, because that's not an answer on the board, what other type of wheeled vehicle did GMATs consider putting a turbine engine in and then later actually did? Was it a motorcycle, a cab over truck, a bulldozer, or a limousine?
I don't know if it's right or not, but I hope it's A.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's A. So
I'd say, yeah.
Speaking of A, y'all have seen Lino's bike, right?
Yeah.
That is just that my favorite sound in the world is to hear that bike just tick 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 tick.
I think doesn't it technically have no top speed, other
Correct.
than what physically it's limited to by you riding it?
Correct. If you tried to top speed it, you would probably not live. If you could figure out how to run it unmanned, I'm sure you could eventually figure it out. But I don't think a human riding it would last very long.
Well, the tires will go at some point. That'd probably be the first thing to take a left
Well,
turn.
I think the human would go first.
Well, if we eliminate the human, if there's no carcass in it and just rubber and
And yeah, human, then tires, then whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of people are saying B. Oh, look at that. Danny Boyd thinks he's got it figured out.
He always knows.
He's got the first two wrong.
He,
fast for Google.
he usually knows. But I just picked the coolest answer.
Me too,
Correct.
man.
Correct.
I'm just thinking Batman.
So later, they built a three-wheeled vehicle and put a gas turbine engine. It was later. And that thing, when they take the nose cone off, it looks like the tumbler from Batman.
Yes.
Probably where it
All
came
right.
from.
The answer is bam. Just what Danny Boyd says, the cab over truck. And this thing ran. It drove. They drove it to the event. It was the Turbo Titan 3. My
See,
question
but
is, where's Turbo Titan 1 and 2?
That's the exact opposite of the type of power plant you want in something like that because they do not produce torque. You'd have to have a heck of a reduction gearbox on that thing to get the torque for a truck.
And at the time that they did this, Ford made their own. And Ford was toying with the turbines as well. So they had the big red Ford. Look it up on the old Googles. Big red from Ford. And it's a turbine-powered truck that sat up even taller. So Chevy's got a more lowered cab. It's more for just kind of moving your freight around.
I kind of like the look of that. It got kind of like the
It's not a bad looking truck.
Yeah.
the twin inlets.
I would say
a 14
Chevy's
contact.
is a little better looking, but Big Red was big. He was super tall. And he had two trailers.
GM has always done fantastic with the concepts. They just sometimes never get from concept to production with it being the same, enthusiasm.
I think that can be said of a lot of the manufacturers, though. A lot of them do
Pontiac Transport.
The Aztec.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely the Aztec. It looked neat. Well, they all do it, but GM has always, to me, has had so much more better concept quality car that looked like you could almost produce it, and then what they do produce is so bean counter engineering.
Yep. And Danny Boyd, they did make an Astro, but this ain't it. That's later.
Yeah, wasn't it a cab over?
The Astro actually was the tumbler car I was talking about.
Okay, because I thought that GMC had an Astro cab over, but maybe I'm off on a name.
They probably did.
Well, they had the awesome Astro.
You guys want to get me one? I will gladly borrow that to move. But poor Vantana took a dump, right? He's taking a little vacation as well. And you guys are going to see in the video what this rental company gave me. It's just the biggest pile, I swear.
But no matter what, you have to at least go peel the emblems off, Brian, if you don't get to buy them back. So
I have one of them. I don't have the other one. So
the steering wheel.
I don't have the steering wheel.
You put a lot of effort into that.
I did. So I've got the things I want to get back out of it. If I don't get to keep them, is the emblems, the steering wheel, and a few of the little other parts that are in there. But I couldn't even get the hood open.
Yeah, it got buckled pretty good. You could tell by seeing the fender and stuff on there.
Yeah.
So if anybody has an armored truck for sale, Buff is looking for
You know those things that they had on the old steam locomotives, the cattle things? Yeah, I need one of those. Yeah.
Gov Planet. Just check out Gov Planet. They sell all kinds of crazy crap.
I'll get one of those Bearcats with the big snow plow on the front, and we'll just mow our way to work every day. And truly, I love my job. It's just if I didn't go to work as much because you guys are going to help me get more subs, then maybe it would be less likely that I hit as many deer, because that's 3 in a year.
That's a lot of deer. I've never hit a deer.
Yeah. I went well over a decade without hitting a deer. Part of that was I lived in Alaska, but the other part was I hadn't. And this last year, the deer have been huge, like just a lot of them everywhere.
There's a lot out by my place. I have to dodge them pretty much every day.
Yeah,
I've got a lot in Michigan, but I've been lucky enough I only had one kind of come up, and we just kind of went side by side for a little bit, and then he realized he didn't want to make that little jump.
Right. Yeah, she kind of looked, and she's like, "Ooh, do I know this guy?" And next thing, bam.
It's like, isn't it Buff?
Yeah, that's how it went.
So she was a Buff bunny.
Yeah,
I think she wanted the van more than she wanted me.
She just didn't understand how to join the Tappy Tap Club. She thought she had to tap the car.
She got tapped hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could actually do that. I don't want to.
The bad part is when you hit them, most of the meat isn't good.
Yeah.
She took a pretty good hit right to the rear.
Well, I'm just going to ask you, Buff, did Bambi turn into Rudolph, or, you know?
Oh, I didn't see you down there. Sorry, man.
There's Athlete.
Hello.
Oh, all right.
All good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
You should have at least gotten the gotten the hide for your dashboard cover or something.
Yeah. The deers, they have a rule here about they've got this list, and you got to be on the list. And there's something like if I had a tag, or I don't know. I don't hunt here. I hunted in Alaska, but apparently I don't have to hunt. They just come to me.
Rats,
all right.
hooves. That's what we always called them in Mississippi.
Yep, that's what they are. All right, so guys, following the whole, this is just for Hunter, by the way. If you guys don't realize, Hunter is not a fan of concepts. So really, this is just for Hunter. So which concept Pontiac came equipped with a Ferrari V12 engine under the hood? And actually, the name is not over in the answers. The type of car is, because I may or may not have got too excited and jumped to the end.
We're not talking about those fake 308s that they got sued for, right?
No, not those.
That was the Fiero.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there a Firebird one too that they were so close that whoever was making them got sued pretty bad for that?
Correct, but that wasn't Pontiac that did those.
That was Pontiac made the Trojan.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that Pontiac, I guess, authorized were the ones that kind of got in trouble. Anyway, forget about the answers. Tell me if you know the answer. Oh, Hunter. Good job, buddy. Hunter nailed it. I'm proud of him. So the answer is Pegasus.
I do remember that, actually.
But it's based on a Firebird Trans Am car. and they actually worked with Ferrari to build this car. Enzo Ferrari provided the power plant. He provided the dash, all the gauges, everything on the inside of this car, but it's got a Ferrari V12 in it.
And like a 250 nose on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That looks more like a Camaro fender than a Firebird fender. Oh, no, I guess early Firebird, sure.
That's interesting.
It's considered a Pontiac, I can tell you that. And if you look at the back, it's got kind of a V-shaped point to it versus, the cut-off rear. Yeah. And it's got the it's got the Trans Am or Firebird style lights kind of flat inset into that. So you'd more want to look at them from this angle than straight. But still a cool car.
Yeah.
Well, that's the interest. Danny Boyd pointed something out that's very interesting. He said this 1970, and it's got the wraparound window in it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it looks like the later model fenders with the vents on them in the front.
Mm-hmm. They definitely were pushing the boundaries of what they were doing.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, the Pontiac Fiero was the Pontiac Mira that looked like
that's
Ferrari
what it was.
308.
Yep. All right, let's close out of that. Thank you guys for playing. It's always a good time. All right, Halfwits, where are you at? I know you're muted, but where are you hanging out?
Just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, currently.
Did you go hang out and drive around the track?
I did not, but Byron did a lap in Atlanta in Big Burn.
Oh, wow.
There's actually a fairly short video on our YouTube channel right now with my buddy John Golston, who makes the most ridiculous car sound effects with his mouth. So he filmed this video and he put like sound effects over it where, of course, it didn't have that, but it's big. It's a Big Burn going around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So it's pretty cool. He tried to get in line to go down the drag strip today, and he didn't make it in. So
today's stop was drag strip.
Mm-hmm. The D-Max drag strip, yeah.
All right. I know that
North Carolina, which is where my truck originally came from, which is interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know Jay's been running around there. I know he had the Javy on the track.
Yeah. He helped us
go
burn in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay, cool.
He jumped in,
So the question I have is, like, networking wise, have you ran into a lot of different car people, obviously people, but like YouTubers and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten so big this year compared to the past couple of years that like Derek from Vice Grips had to be pretty careful. Where he can't really go out on the main midway, like he'll just get mauled. I mean, like last year there were lines to see him around like an hour-long wait to shake his hand for 5 seconds. It was just a bit much. But like, Luke Finley from Thunderhead 289 has been running around with his ram or whatever.
Velocity stack, we'll call it.
His high-rise
inflatable entrance.
That thing is nuts.
Yeah, I had a beer with Junkyard Diggs earlier.
Yep.
I've been talking to the Old Car Channel and something Garage and some other guys. Saw DeBoss today.
Yeah, cool.
Got to meet him, so that was cool. Yeah, a lot of really nice people there. Mook was there too, with Junkyard Diggs. So, and they brought that kind of greenish brown. What was that thing that they were driving?
Oldsmobile.
I'm extremely sunburned, and so
I think it's an Oldsmobile.
Wasn't it a Cutlass?
The Cutlass. So they brought that, and they were driving that around, and so it's kind of a trip. I got to talk to some really good people today. We've met. The best thing about Power Tour, I mean, getting on the road and driving down the road and trying to keep the car running, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you, after doing it a few times now, it's meeting people. It's networking and meeting people. So, I mean, we got here and we've had some downs, but we also, I would say the positives are like we've made kind of a few friends, fast friends, whatever. and just kind of hang out. Now we find them, hang out. We all put our tents up and, make sandwiches, grab beers, and hang out and tell stories, and it's great, And then also when somebody breaks down, everybody just jumps in and starts fixing, wrenching on each other's stuff. I mean, nobody even cares. Like, there was a guy earlier today. I didn't have the right bolt for him, but I do have, because my truck is all metric, everything on it, pretty much. Right. So I have this giant Milwaukee pack out organizer with just all these extra metric bolts, because I don't know. I mean, I just put that truck together from, I blew it completely apart and put it back together. So I'm like, I don't know what bolt's going to fall out while I'm going down the road. Hopefully none, but so I pulled up and I'm like, what do you need? He's like, I need a 3/8. I was like, I don't have that. I was like, but if you need a metric bolt, I got ARP, stainless, yellow zinc. What do you want? So
yeah, exactly.
Stuff. And, but it's been pretty cool, but also getting to see Jay and hang out. And, just that's really it, man. I mean, driving your car down the road is cool. Always they try to, have these, the routes have been a little bit crazy this year, but, it's the people, it's meeting people, so that's the best part. And I
think we capture.
No nationals is kind of the same thing, right? It's
exactly. That's where I was going. It's
yeah. And I've
you
got
end up talking to all these people
right on the back of my truck. So.
Nice.
And that's honestly, that's a great way to keep supporting Dallas. I know he's had some issues this year, but AHR is not giving up on No Name Nationals. It's still going to happen. And you guys got all these people in the chat you're talking to. We've talked to you on the lives. We've met you in one way, shape, or form. And then you go to that event. It is important to have your car ready for the event. Let me tell you, you should probably have it ready before you get there.
My problem is I don't have enough subs. I'm only halfway there, but
you'll get there quick.
So,
and then the reality is, once you get there, don't get so obsessed with the car that you forget to talk to people, because that was far and above the best part for me, was meeting people, hanging out, talking, just sitting and having a meal, maybe have a drink. Great time.
I mean, like today we looked and the food lines were ridiculous. So we just went back over to the tent, and there's a couple of guys that are cruising with us, or at least we meet up with them every day. And that's one of the things we faced is on I guess day number 2 in Columbia, South Carolina. Their truck got stolen right out of the hotel parking lot. It was a 2003 Ford F-350 dually with a trailer on the back with an electric wheelchair in it. So I mean, who steals a truck with an electric wheelchair attached to it and a handicap tag? I mean, that's like an escalator straight to hell. But anyway,
very scummy people.
But so and I've known that guy. He's in his 70s. I've known him since I was 2, or I would say he's known me since I was like 2 years old. Grew up with his boys. They met up with us. They're from Mississippi and been cruising along. Now they didn't give up. They went and got a rental Nissan Rogue, and it's hilarious because every day
go with what you got.
Oh yeah, well every day we're pulling up to the tent where all these other guys are that we've met up with. It's like a big old 12 valve Cummins and then another truck that's just blown out, and then I'm pulling up and we're all like, rah, and then like you see he comes around the corner and it's like, you're like, nice. So he tried to do a burnout today and it just launched. It just went. It didn't do anything, but I mean, that's the thing, is the people. And so we all got together when the lines were ridiculous, and we just went back to the tent and made like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ham and cheese and drank a couple of beers and hang out. It was great. That's
the best meal ever, is one with friends, right?
Yeah.
Well, did I hear there's something like 6,000 cars this year?
Yes, it is a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's insane.
The hardest part is getting in and out. So I don't know I don't want to badmouth anybody, but who's organizing the entry and exit of said show, but it is terrible.
it's almost so, like, if you look at other events, and I'm not going to bash anybody, but there are other events out there that will literally limit the amount of people that can participate simply because that's all they can handle.
Yeah.
And they're at least reasonable enough to know, all right, I can take 500 cars, or I can take 1,000 cars. But when you have such a huge event that's so well known after all this time, and you're up to 6,000 cars. That's not just people. That's just the cars.
That's just
And now you got people on top of that.
Yeah.
That's a managing nightmare.
That's just the registered cars.
Right. So there's
Right.
a lot of locals that showed, like today, the registered participant cars were going in the same entrance as the spectator cars.
Ooh.
And so you had people that were long haulers going in with people that were just doing a 1-day pass along with just spectators. So I was like, it was just a melange of like police officers not knowing what to do. And they didn't have enough information. I literally overheard 2 police officers saying like, we're just winging it. We have no information. We don't know how any of this is supposed to work. So it was a mess. So
That's generally how it goes.
So, but you know,
That's a shame.
the trick is to kind of, what I've noticed anyway, if you ever get a chance to do it,
I didn't do that.
up there.
Nope.
So,
It was Ray.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, now he's gone completely.
Buff's
Yeah.
gone.
There we go.
Trick, from what I can tell, is to either get there early, get in line early, so you can get in, get your spot, figure it out, or get there really late in the day after a bunch of people have already left. So you either got to get there, like if gates are at noon, you got to get there at like 11, or if they're closing down at 5, you got to get there at like 4. I mean, there's like any of that point in between, you're going to be sitting in line for an hour. And people's cars today, it's been fairly cool so far, but today it was a little hot, a little spicy out there. So there were people's cars breaking down, overheating. Mine did okay, so I was happy with that. And I think Vern did all right, temperature wise. Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Byron's over there, so and Byron and Jada. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate there. But I mean, like, there was a guy in front of me in a Nova. He's cruising along. All of a sudden, you just heard it like sputter, backfire. That was it. And then he just kind of cruised off to the side, opened the hood, and everything was gushing out. And it was like, oh boy.
Oh, wow.
So he just kind of he. One guy got out and started. There were 2 guys in the car. One of them got out and started working on the car. The driver, the other guy, got out and ran with a jug and just took off. You know, it's like, okay. So, you know,
Well, I'm not sure.
but you know, like the other good thing about Power Tour is I say this all the time. Busted Radial says it. You know, Jay says it. You guys say it. The car community really is the best community. So
They really are.
it is amazing how you can get people from all different walks of life, especially something like Power Tour, where you have guys pulling in. And there was a freaking Di Tommaso Pantera there today. It was
Nice.
beautiful. It was orange and completely it was absolutely gorgeous. I love the back end of those cars, by the way. We can stop talking about that. But anyway, so that's expensive car, man. You know, so whoever's driving that's got some money, and then you have another guy that's rolling up in a S10 that's like held together with zip ties and a prayer, you know. But I guarantee you, if that S10 broke down, the guy in the Di Tommaso would jump out with a toolkit, and so would the guy in the rat rod, and so would one of us in the truck, and so would this guy over here, and we'd all just be like, "What do you need? What do you need help with?" And it's great like that. So that's the best part.
That's the thing, is we're part of the best community, the best family in the world.
True.
If you're a car guy in any way, shape, or form, whether you like, what do we call them, the racers or the the trucks or whatever it is, whatever, we're all a family. Well, it
If
looks
you have
like
an
I'm
electric
losing
vehicle,
Ray.
I probably can't help you, but yeah, as long as it's gasoline, diesel.
But here's
With
what I'll
electric
say.
vehicle, I'm like, I'll go get a charger cable.
Right.
Really
I
don't
mean,
need
I
a
don't
couple
want to.
fans. What do you want?
I don't want to bash the electric cars, because there are some cool things about them. They do have some merit in some areas that it's not something I
I
want.
don't know. I disagree. I think they're boring.
But who's going to argue with the Plaid?
You hit the gas
super
pedal.
stupid
You hit
fast?
the gas pedal. Even in my poopy slow 2004 Silverado, that I gave it more horsepower and it's still slow, but it's a good ride. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you hit the gas and it burbles and makes noise, and
Yep.
and you could feel it vibrating and doing stuff. You know, and there's a feeling that you feel it to the steering wheel, you feel it in the pedal, you feel it to the floor, you feel it in your seat. I've been in a Tesla. Like super model, whatever, you know,
Right.
cheetah banana, whatever. I don't know what it's called.
The
Anyway,
Plaid.
but yeah, the mega fast below you back in the seat, and then he hits the pedal, and it's like we're going fast, but it's like you're like, that's okay. I don't I get more excitement from my electric razor in the morning than
Exactly. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
you know.
I'm trying to bash on them. I'm just saying they
Yeah,
have
but I
merits
will,
in
so
certain
I-
areas. No,
I'll just let
that's
I'll let it
fine.
rip.
I personally, I don't play Slug Bug anymore. I play, Tesla. Just
I'm just saying, if they ever really do like ban gas vehicles, they're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming to a
it's gonna be,
electric thing,
back to the Mad Max days, quite frankly.
and I'll get in trouble. They'll be like, "Sir, you can't put that in your electric vehicle." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "That engine." I'm like, "Well, it's a
generator. It's okay.
yeah."
Yeah.
It's going
It
to
might,
generate
you know.
horsepower
So
and happiness.
is that a Tesla with a diesel in it? Yes.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
That's what we're doing.
That's what it is.
But anyway, yeah. Thank you for letting me come in here and give you guys an update. I'm glad I could come.
No,
in.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And one of these days, hopefully, we'll be close enough to you guys with one of these that you can see exactly how miserable all of us are. No, I'm kidding. You can actually come hang out and stuff. And obviously, I'm going to try to come to No Name Nationals. I don't know if I'll be participating, as I got to try to get enough subs, and that means I got to get better at editing videos. But we'll put some content out there and try. But regardless if I don't participate, I'll still come up there.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
drive the truck up and hang out.
It's the
And I
same as what you were saying. Is you just come and meet the people.
Right.
Yeah, I
That-
just want
that's
to
more-
hang
almost
out
more
and be around
enjoyable.
people that are
Yeah.
like-minded and enjoy cars as much as I do. That's what
And that's what No Name was. It was not just the cars. It was the YouTube side. So it's like we all know what it took to get to where we were at. And then also there's cars. And then
Right.
people walking up going, "Hey, I know you and I know your car." And then it gives you at least an opener, to start with. And then you just hang out and you BS all day and you have a good time and watch everybody else blow up their cars.
I do love some good bovine scatology. I'm a big fan. So
I think Colleen is hanging out with Irish right now, isn't she?
yeah,
I
I
see
think,
her.
She was talking about it, but Jay said, and I'm going to reiterate,
I
if
think she
somebody
walked
goes
away with a
live-
part of Big Vern the other day. If I were trying to correctly.
if somebody goes live after this, because we kind of went a little long, but if somebody goes live after, Jay said he might pop in. So anyway,
I've actually got to run because we're getting up pretty early, getting going tomorrow. We got the. It's not that long of a drive. It's maybe a little less than 3 hours, but this is the leg that goes from Charlotte and goes through the mountains and snakes through over to Bristol. So it's going to be.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I will say this: we lost Ray. His internet dropped again, so I think that's a good sign, a good cue for all of us. But again, thank you guys for the last year. We have loved doing the show for you. We're just trying to take a break for a little bit to get everything caught up. And once we're caught up, we'll be back. I don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to play out, but we'll be back. So thank you guys for all your support, for everything involved. And with that, we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for joining me tonight.
Thanks, everybody.